Hi, welcome to this video data, which is our weekly Forex forecast. It's March the 23rd, it's Saturday. Just going to take a look at some trading opportunities that we think offer really good risk to reward. We'll look at quite a few pairs today. We'll go to the charts in a moment. Now, the Forex markets got really interesting on Friday for us with a pickup in volatility in some pairs, which we think could spill across the Forex markets generally next week. And that's all to do with what's going on in the stock market and bond market, which I'll cover when I do my analysis. Now, in terms of the charts, we're going to use charts from our member center. For anyone who is a member, I've updated all the charts for Sunday's open. I'm expecting an active week ahead, so you can go and check them out. Now, in terms of when I'm doing my analysis in this video, please do keep in mind, it is my view as of this moment in time. It can change in line with the market conditions. If you want all our trading techniques and our daily technical analysis of 14 major Forex pairs, you can click on the link beneath this video, get live access to our member center. Right, let's go and take a look at some trade setups. Right, we're in our member center, and just very quickly before we go and look at some charts, I'm just going to explain how we do our charting for new viewers to our videos. If you're familiar, just skip forward a few minutes. But in terms of the way we do our charting, we'll only work off daily levels of support and resistance. We don't drop down to lower time frames. We consider that trading the noise. Also, we never do any market orders. We do all our orders in advance. Okay, so we just let the market do its work, and on our charts we'll always each day put our levels of entry, stop and target, so people can see us trading the techniques that we use and see if they actually work. Now, in terms of checking price action, just twice a day, once in the morning London time, once in the evening just before the market closes, just to see if we need to update any positions. So very much set and forget trading. Now, in terms of our charts, they are very minimalistic. They will hardly have any trend lines on them whatsoever. We don't want them. We only want big levels that matter to key institutions where we know there's going to be a lot of order flow around. So those are the levels we want to come in through for our entries and put our stops behind. Now, how do we find them? We use the weekly charts. If the weekly levels back up the daily levels, that makes them more valid. Okay. And in terms of our favorite tool for really keeping our charts minimalistic, it's the CFTC Net Traders Positions. Now, this is the best tool in Forex. It's totally free. Why is it the best tool in Forex? Because it tells you where the big money actually has positions, and it's free from the CFTC site. So you can see what two groups have got. You can see what speculators have got and what commercial hedgers have got in terms of positions, and commercial hedgers are the smart money. Commercial hedgers are going against the speculators, then we'll always go with the hedgers because they're right about every major trend change. So this report will actually help you detect turning points in advance and also postulate how far a trend might run. And we're looking for, profit objectives of at least 200 pips up to 500 or more. You can't sort of say a pair's going to run 500 pips unless you know the weight of money behind the charts. Now, we do a lot of COT analysis, which is on the COT page. I'm not going to go through it in this video, but for anyone new, I'll put a video beneath this one where you can learn more about it. But we'll always look at the CFTC Net Traders Positions before we do trades effectively. Now, before we go and look at currency pairs, I want to look at three contracts that any Forex trader should look at, which alerted us to the move up in the US dollar at the back end of last week. I'm just making this page a bit bigger. It alerted us to the USD going up back end of last week, and also other safe currencies. And these contracts, you should keep an eye on them if you're a serious Forex trader, because they really will help you get clues to where Forex markets are going to go. Now, this contract here is the T-note. And what it does is it tells you the market perception of where interest rates might go. So if it's going down, the market thinks that US rates are going down. If it's going up, obviously thinks rates are going up. This was significant last week. On Thursday, broke support. Friday, we followed through. You can see it if you look at the media, people saying about bonds or T-notes, interest rates indicate a recession in the US. That was basically an indication the US dollar going to go up. And it's gone up heavily on quite a few pairs already. So is the yen. Could get more next week, because now this indicates a recession, okay, in the US. It's making traders and investors nervous. They want safe currencies over risk. So the USD, JPY, they firmed. They could firm a lot more in the coming week. Now, this is the contract to keep your eye on, the S&P, because you've had a big stock market rally, almost up to multi-year highs over here. Now on Friday down, break this level of support. That will firm safe over risk currencies. Now just one final contract, which isn't an individual currency, it's an index of general dollar strength or weakness. And we were saying last week after the dovish Fed, when everyone said the dollar was going to fall, or the majority was saying the dollar was going to fall even further, it was a buy. Why? Because the Fed were so dovish. That's why you've seen the bond market go down, to indicate a recession. There's no more bad news for the USD. It's a safe haven. It is bound to rise on investor nervousness. And she came up quite nicely at the back end of last week. So we're looking really, for risk off to gather pace next week. If it does, that's going to give some great moves in the market. We're hoping we continue with Friday's volatility. Let's look at some pairs, and I'm going to look at before I look at the majors, I want to look at the weekly guest pairs we look at, which are just outside of the majors, but we think they offer really good risk to reward. Now, in terms of first pair, we've had it in I think the last forecast. It's CAD JPY. Got the CAD, a risk currency, JPY, a safe currency. And you can see the breakdown in the CAD last week. JPY pushing it lower. It's a nice move. I think that could be the start of a big move to the downside. And this double trend line I've drawn here, that equates to the 83 level. Okay, and I just don't see prices getting through that level. Bounce back, we should come off. We're presently at 84.50. Stop is now 83.60. We've got about 250 pips, okay, but I'm looking for a lot more. I put 82, then 80 on the downside here. We've got to 82. 80 is the next level. When I update this chart on Monday, I'll put the weekly level in, which I think is 76. So a long way to go on the downside. There's plenty of yen pairs that look really good, okay, for the coming week. Next pair is GBP NZD. I'm not going to cover this one here. I've covered it in numerous individual videos. We're totally bullish of the GBP. Gold, interesting, because it responds to US dollar strength or weakness. Now, had it in for a few weeks. We did trade it short when we consolidated there. Got stopped out there. Caught it here. Favorite type of trade setup. Nice big strong move. Outside of an outer Bollinger Band. Exhaustion back in. We'll sell. And then when she levels out here, we'll bring our stop down, get a good profit. We've since come in again, a little bit underwater on this one, but can't take out the 132 level. If we come through this 20-day move-in average, gold is going down. I know it's not a currency, but I think it's an interesting contract to look out for. So it's in this page. Next pair, and this is the warning that the USD is getting ready for a big move. It's already starting in our view. USD Turkish lira. So you've got the safe USD against the really risk Turkish lira. Any emerging market currency is going to get hit the hardest by move from risk. And the Turkish lira got hammered on Friday. It's a beautiful move up. I think it's about 7%. We're in at a really decent level, just above here, which is 550.20. Okay, because it's moved so violently to the upside, I'm recommending taking 15% off. Don't look the gift horse in the mouth, so to speak. It could go on, but you've got nice profit tucked away. and just see if the other half runs. I might put half the profit back in if we dip back to this level here, 560. But that just shows the potential for safe currencies against risk currencies. Now this one has moved already. There's others that are just getting ready to go down on the USD in our view, which I'll come to in a moment. Now, I will go and look at the majors, some of them. They haven't been that interesting recently. It's been more the kind of lesser looked at pairs that have been the big movers. But I think the majors, some of them could be getting ready to have big moves. And first one can be Euro USD. I did do a full video on this on Friday, and it has been choppy and sideways. But our view now, you can view our full video on this. You're just getting ready for a big move to the downside. In at 113.80, just a little bit of profit. I do not see this 114 level being hurdled now. All the risks are to the downside. You've got decent carry on it if you're trading short. 111.70, if that gives way, you'll get higher volatility and then a big move down, I think, to 108, then 104.50. You watch my full video on this one because this one is very sentiment driven. I think it's getting ready. GBP, bullish of that. We'll cover that numerous times. AUD, I'm bearish, but just hasn't moved much. But I think if we get volatility pick up to the downside, she'll start to run. AUD is a risk currency. The emerging markets are breaking first, okay? Then it'll come to the next riskiest group, which is the commodity currencies. This one hasn't broken down yet, though, okay? USD JPY, I've loaded up a full video on this one earlier on. We're just confirming now, I think, a big move to the downside. We're in at 111.30. We've fallen below this level here where these bodies are. This is the 111 level. I just don't see it getting taken out now. And you've got double trend line resistance there and a 20-day moving average. Rally up to there. I think it's a sell on weakness. Or if we just follow through to the downside. We're going to go to here in my view. Then it's 104.50, then 100. Everything for us now has turned bullish for the yen. You can look at my USD JPY video for more info on the sentiment, big fundamentals behind the chart. But like the look of that one. One commodity currency that I think is starting to break down of the three, NZD of course being the other one, is the CAD. Broke up here quite nicely, came back, consolidation, breakout. We're in at 133.40, we're at about 134.40, so not really much profit yet, but we finished near the high, and we're very bearish of crude oil because we expect crude oil to go down if we have risk off. It will just go down with the stock market. That will weigh on the CAD. So looking for some decent upside in the USD. Now, in terms of crosses, in our crosses section, I actually won't look at the crosses. I put Euro JPY. Actually, I'll have a quick look, just for anyone who didn't see the Euro video. Euro JPY, I like the look of this pair so much. Euro just so bearish for us now, as I discussed in the general Euro video. Really nice fall, 126 to 124. We're short at 125.80. It's only 180 pips so far, but looking for far lower prices. Any bounce to sell back to the round number at 125. Take out 124, we should slap straight into this level. Then down to 115. I see very sort of shallow rallies in this one and a lot of downside, so bearish. Any others in the crosses that are interested? Actually, Euro GBP. I've covered it before. I've been short GBP from here. We went short the short the Euro up here. Nice move down, got stopped out. Sold again, nice move down. Then we sold again, got stopped out on this spike. Just by a few pips, I think it was 2. So annoyed at that. And now we're back in short. Euro's just going down everywhere. It's got a long way to go on the GBP. 84, then 81. Just entered and just in a minor profit. Other two crosses aren't too interesting. What is interesting, though, are USD pairs. in terms of the USD, let me just go and find them. USD pairs, just find the ones I like the best. Anything that's related to the euro and the knockets, okay, I think is going down on the USD. The USD pushed up nicely on Friday. It's one of our favorite types of setup. You get a big fall down. You run outside of the outer Bollinger Band here, then come back within a nice move to the upside. I don't see much downside in this one. I think crude oil is going down, which is going to hurt the knock. 850, good support. We push up through here, all the way up to chart highs. This is worth keeping an eye on. It hasn't moved much yet, though. USD CNH. A lot of optimism about US trade talks being concluded nicely. A cold water poured on that on Friday that the sides aren't close. The USD went down on the optimism about trade talks, but now it's hammering out a base and it's looking to move higher. Volatility has tightened up, which points to a big move. And I think the big move will be to the upside, as you can see by my ambitious targets. But if this one gets moving, it can move very violently. And I think all the risks are for the Chinese one to go down, USD to go up. This one hasn't come to fruition yet. Keep your eye on it next week, though, in my view. USD Tribe looked at. Here is an emerging market, which I think is just getting into motion. Fast moving, a volatile pair. This big fall down here outside of that outer Bollinger Band, which you always like, just buy back within, then up. Obviously, this is the Fed being really dovish in the market, thinking that USD was going lower, despite the fact it came off its lows on most currencies and the dollar index, which pointed to a reversal. We should get up towards 20, I think, maybe even 20.50. This pair I haven't had a lot of luck in this year, so this trade moved really nicely on Friday, hoping to get a really good, decent trade out of it. What else have we got? Actually, NZD USD, I thought this would break down. It hasn't yet, but it can't take out this resistance level. It's very vulnerable, so is the AUD. Like I said, the emerging markets are going down first with a little bit of a move to risk off. It'll be the commodity currencies next, so keep your eye on this one. Have to break this level here in the 20-day moving average, but that spike couldn't take resistance. We're red, volatility is low. Break here, going down to chart lows. But it hasn't happened yet. I'm just hoping it's going to happen. But I think the odds are to the downside. USD SEK, another fast-moving euro proxy. If the euro goes down, euro proxies go down. This one is very related to the euro. There's the exhaustion on the Fed. Again, outside of an outer Bollinger Band, which we really like. Just buy back within. Nice move up. And I did a video on this setup, I think it was on Friday. Got plenty of those moves outside of the outer Bollinger Band, which we like after a big move down. And you've really got low risk when you buy back within. This one here, I didn't do it, but that's a great one. Full bar outside, reversing, in, down. I didn't take the short side though. I was waiting to buy and it just didn't come back. Bought it now though. Right, what do we got next? Euro CHF, that's not too interesting. Euro NZD. JPY pairs. Here's another one. The AUD, just basically travelling sideways against the yen, couldn't take out the 80 level. Lowish volatility, then the drop on Friday. We're only just short of this one at 78.65. But again, risk reward really good. This candle open should hold, okay? It's near enough up at the 79 level, a round number, 20-day moving averages there. Then we've got our stop back behind the next level, which is 2 candle tails and 2 candle bodies. Also, look at the volatility, very tight, and it's starting to expand. We're basically, in my view, going to see an expansion of volatility now and a good move to the downside. Long term, I think it's going to 62. And just for anyone new watching our videos, when I talk about breaks outside of an outer Bollinger Band, they must be on high volatility to come back within. When the volatility is tight, a break outside is actually what you want. Okay, so very tight volatility here, looking for it to pick up, and think yeah, that one is a good one on a bounce, or just if we're red at the open. CAD JPY we just looked at, GBP we're bullish of, and let me just go and look at some other pairs that I like for next week, and just a few more USD pairs and yen pairs, and you can pick out which ones you like the best, or you can just do them all as kind of one trade if you think the currency is going to go one way. So if you're doing, let's say, JPY trades, you might want to pick out 3 and treat them as one, because sometimes you don't know which is going to go the best, okay, in terms of profit potential. By spreading your contracts around, so to speak, you won't get the best, but you won't get the worst either. What do I want to look at here? USD CZK, this is correlated with the euro. The euro goes down, so the CZK tends to go down as well, but it goes down quicker, a bit like USD SEK really. So again, a nice move up, and this pair I just think has got massive upside potential. It hasn't come to fruition yet, because every time the USD goes up it does dip back, but this time round I think we're going a long way higher, and I've put 1350 there. I've just noticed that mistake again. I keep writing 1350, I mean 2350, which is somewhere up here. So this one looks a good pair. It's a euro proxy. It's also an emerging market currency as well. USD ZAR. This is an emerging market currency which we've had a really good run in. Got the move there and held it all the way up before getting stopped out. Formed support. Now we're pushing off. Gets through 1450. Or this high. She'll go to 15, then 1550, and then could go to 16 or higher. So if this one starts breaking up again, nothing really good going on for the ZAR at the moment, in our view. If you look at the fundamental backdrop and so forth, it's a risk currency, USD going higher. Last pair I think you should keep your eye on next week, NZD, JPY. And she's just starting to break down. Low volatility. All these little candles here trying to get higher. And now a bit of a bigger red. This one, if she gets going on Monday, has got big downside potential. The NZD, I just consider it the most overvalued major. But having said that, it hasn't really broken down heavily yet, but I think it could do. And I like this pair. It just looks like it's getting ready. 76 should be good resistance. Stop behind this double trend line. I think she comes outside of the bands and starts to run a long way down the downside. I've got 72 and then I've got 68. So really, plenty of pairs to look out for. What you basically want to do, in my view, and it really paid off for us last week, was going, on Thursday, after we thought the Fed dovish news had exhausted, we just thought, well, if the Fed are that dovish, then obviously it's not good in the global economy, and it can't get any worse for the USD. So the USD is safe haven, it must go up. So I'd really keep your eye on T-notes, stock market, a focus on looking for USD strength, JPY strength, anything safe over risk, like for example GBP over NZD would be safe over risk. Okay, I've done a full video on this, which I did I think last week, called Potential Financial Crisis Coming. You can just look it up, and I go into the grading of currencies and my big view of the global economy. I'm looking for real turbulence in financial markets and these Forex pairs to really pick up in volatility. Now we've started to see the volatility pick up. The volatility's just been so low, and I think a lot of traders seeing a little bit of higher volatility, wondering if it can get higher. It could get a lot higher the way things are in the global economy, and that means really great profit potential. Obviously, if you can get in on the big moves, which we're hoping we can do. We've got some decent moves on the go at the moment. Things really picked up for us Thursday, Friday. You've been fairly flat for the week or two before that, but let's see. I think week ahead could be pretty interesting. But that's my view of the pairs to really look out for in the week ahead. So thanks for watching me as usual. Take care. Have a good day.